In today's episode of my podcast story, we have Laura Alyn, a visionary author, educator, and the dynamic host of both Ila Radio and Grounded Spirits. Laura's podcasts are known for their deep exploration of spirituality, emotional healing, and the intersection of education and personal growth. With a background in interdisciplinary research and a passion for storytelling, she invites listeners to imagine what it means to learn and live authentically. As the founder of the Ila Institute, Laura is on a mission to make knowledge accessible and empower individuals to share their unique stories. She's here to share an inspiring journey on how she built her shows from the ground up, weaving together the threads of our life experiences, academic pursuits, and a commitment to fostering deeper connections in our ever-evolving world. You tell us your name and the name of your podcast and what your podcast is about.
Well, I actually have two. Should I talk about both of them or just pick one?
Yeah, talk about both.
Okay. So hi, I'm Laura Alyn, and I have two podcasts. So the first one is Grounded Spirits, and that one I started in 2020. And it's about how do we balance our grounded selves with our spirited selves? Because if you're too grounded, then you're no fun and you're just like drudging through life hustling, you know? But if you're too spirited, then you can really get nothing done. So it's like, how do we balance that? And then my next podcast is called Ila Radio. And
Can you explain your podcast without using the word ground and spirit in it?
it's a wellness podcast for gardeners and dreamers. So it's like, how do we ground ourselves or use gardening, have deep roots while being able to still fly?
I feel like you're talking about a different podcast from what you described the first time.
Maybe it's the second one. I have two.
No, like when you explained without using the word ground and spirit, what I'm envisioning your podcast to be is way different from what you explained the first time.
Yeah, so let me try to explain it this way. It's probably going to be completely different from what you're imagining now. But what I do is I look at the four elements, so water, fire, earth, and air, and like how can we work with them? How can we connect with nature to really understand who we are and like our place in this space, like where do we belong, and then how do we have big dreams and be able to chase them and feel fulfilled in our lives.
In short, you are Avatar the Last Airbender.
What was that?
Say in short, you are Avatar the Last Airbender.
Yeah,
Fire.
kind of it. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Tell us about the second podcast.
The second one is called Ila Radio. And so that one is an offshoot of Ila Institute, which is a school that I'm trying to get together to create. And so the podcast is bringing in really anybody, because everybody has had an education experience. And so what did they like about school? What didn't they like about school? And then I bring in astrology to figure out, like, was it your intuition that led you for this career path? Was it school that led you here? Or was it astrology? Did astrology have a hand in where you are now, guiding the way to your career path? So it's been really interesting to hear people's stories and the twists and turns of career paths and how astrology really has a hand in all of it. It's been really, really interesting because I knew astrology worked for me, but now I'm like, wow, astrology works for everybody.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
That one is not as long. So Grounded Spirits was from 2020 till now. But Elam, I probably started maybe like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So not too long.
4 years, 5 years. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
a child I was born in, let's say 4 5 years ago. That child, with the way they grow these days and the way they are smart these days, that child will probably be having a dialogue with you and challenging all the things you think you say. Oh, auntie, you said that thing. No, that's not that stuff. It's this way. I thought you said this. And you start questioning your existence and say, well, do I really know this stuff? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, definition.
yeah. The definition?
You can. I said,
Oh, congratulations. Thank you.
yeah. Well, okay. Is your podcast audio only or audio and video?
So with Grounded Spirits, I started it with just on my phone, like talking to my phone in the dark. Like I didn't have video at all. I wouldn't even say my name when I started it. I really started it because I had so much that I was thinking about, but I didn't have anybody to share it with. And so I'm like, I need to get it out of me. So it was like a way for me to express myself. But now it is audio and video. I used to go to this place out in nature where I would record, but then with the Eaton fires of Los Angeles, that's the spot it got burned down. And so I've been going to park and trying to find like a new place. So I recently did find one. And it's perfect because grounded spirits, like I said, it's like that juxtaposition of like water, like the movement, like the spiritedness, and mountains are grounding, like staying still. And so now it's on the mountain behind the Hollywood sign, and then the LA River is flowing behind it. So it's like very like LA. And so I think that that is cool. So like, even though like this tragedy happened and I was devastated for a long time, it ended up bringing me to this next stage where now I go to a park almost every day that I wouldn't have gone to before. So there's like always like a blessing in disguise.
We'll talk about any other thing. You've been doing the podcast. You've been podcasting for 45 years now. What would you say are some of the personal benefits you've had from the podcast now? How's the podcast impacted you?
So podcasting has given me a space to be able to share my ideas and how my brain works. And then so it's been cool to receive the feedback that like I'm on a right path kind of thing, where people have reached out and said like this episode really like changed my life, or like keep going, like I'm learning so much from you. And so like these little things that people just like will send me like DMs on Instagram. Like they really do like make my day. And it's so incredible how something that comes from within that I first, like I said, I started in the dark because I thought that like no one could relate to like what I was going through. Like this was like I was going down a spiritual journey before the spiritual like movement got bigger like the way that it is now. This was like at the beginning where no one really talked about it, and I came from at the academic side, so I was like very much about like reason and like in the physical. And so like to be having these ideas of spirituality and like thinking about intuition and knowing that things exist outside of things that I can see was like life changing, but also so ashamed of it. Like I'm a weirdo for like thinking these things are true, or like, am I crazy? Like, is this all real? So Grounded Spirits like really gave me an opportunity to be able to share that. And then I think that that also then helped other people learn from what I was learning.
You mentioned that when you started your podcast, you were recording with your phone. I'm curious to know, what does your setup look like right now?
Yeah, so before it was back before it's called Anchor, and now Spotify bought it. But on Anchor, you could record, you could edit all right there on your phone. So I did that for a really long time. But now I have the little lapel mics. I don't have it right now. I'm not wearing it, but those are the ones that I usually use, and they've been working well.
So currently you're not using the mic.
No, I'm not.
Sounds good. It appears you're recording right now. It's a nice.
Mm.
So there's a slight, bounce, but the stuff sounds great.
Yeah, so it's a brand new computer. Before, with my other computer, the audio was horrible. So that's when I was investing in all of these different mics. But that was before when I actually had a podcast room in my house. But we moved to get closer to Los Angeles.
Ooh.
And so now I don't have a podcast room. I usually go to a library or to another conference space to be able to record. So it got tiresome to like bring the whole big mic setup everywhere I went. So
Wow.
that's like the little details, have worked. But like I said, this new computer, the audio has been pretty good. So I thought that, yeah. So I asked if it was good audio.
No, it sounds great. At first, I thought you were using the mic, but I was just like observing you, and there was no mic, nothing I could
Mhm.
see. But then it sounds great. Like, yeah, it's amazing how technology is getting better every day, every day.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're just
definitely.
using your laptop, and now no gear currently connected to the laptop.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. And sometimes we complicate this thing. It's not so hard. It's as simple as that. Like, bring your stuff out, and I'm guessing that there's no like big lighting setup where you are right now.
No, I'm just at a library, so it's just the light that they have, the natural light.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. No wonder the echo. How if it's way different when you are like in your bedroom recording, like all these cushions and everything. It's soft. No wonder. Wow. But it's great. Like, I like the way you thought of those ideas. Some person like, oh, my room is terrible. I can't record. My house is this. And usually the library is usually very quiet compared to other locations. And I don't know, I'm guessing where you are, it's free to use the library.
Yes. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, because in my room, the lighting is horrible. So that's why I can't record in my room.
Hey, just a quick break. If you enjoying the insights so far and want even more behind the scenes ideas, inspiration, and tools for growing your own podcast, join my email list at mypodcaststory.com/join. That is mypodcaststory.com/join. You get access to helpful resources, exclusive updates, and the kind of stuff I only share with my email subscribers. Whether you're starting out or already podcasting, there's something valuable waiting for you. Head over to mypodcaststory.com/join and subscribe. Now, back to the episode. Yeah, like this is bad. But okay, I'm going to ask. Right now, where you are, because I don't know how the libraries decide. Are you the only one in the room?
Yeah, I'm the only one here. Do you want me to show you?
Okay, you could. Yeah, this will go on YouTube. So for those that are watching,
Yeah.
you can see it.
Yeah, so I'm in Arcadia. So it's a little on the outskirts of Los Angeles, but it comes with a
Wow.
table. There's the window when people like the security guard walks by because they don't want like people doing stuff in here.
Yeah.
And then they a whiteboard, and then they
Wow.
even give you like whiteboard markers and stuff in here. And then the coolest part of all, you have your own little TV.
You can
So
connect.
you can
Can you connect stuff to the TV?
yeah, so you can connect it. You can put your computer up there, your phone I've done. So it's pretty cool. And it seats 6 people. So
Wow.
there's 6 people.
So right now that you're using this place, what if someone wanted to use the place right now? What would you do?
Oh, you sign up for it online. So
Okay.
I've reserved this room for 2 hours.
Okay, just you for 2 hours.
Hmm.
So when the 2 hours elapse, what happens?
Well, the library's gonna close, so I would have to
Oh,
get I would
okay,
get
okay.
kicked out.
Okay, this is like late in the evening.
Hmm.
But let's say
Yeah,
it was in the
it's
morning and in the 2 hours elapsed, what would you do?
you can stay in here as long as nobody else has reserved it. But if someone else reserved it when they come, then you have to leave.
You double reserve? Can you multiple reserve? You triple reserve?
Hmm?
Can you double reserve back to back?
No, we only have one block a day.
Do you create content on YouTube? Because like these are some of the things like the whiteboard marker, the TV and everything. Like this is like a studio setup. Hope you're creating content. You create on YouTube.
Yeah, I want to start. So with Grounded Spirits, I did a couple of episodes when I was at the other location before the fire. So those are on YouTube, and then the ones for Ela Radio, it's a more of an interview, and so those I just post. But you're right, like I do actually want to like start using the whiteboard and explaining things and really like digging into all of the other things that I'm interested in because I
Mhm.
just love everything, and so it's really hard to like narrow it down.
Like
Yeah.
this thing you have right now, is one of those things I've been imagining in my head that I wish there was something like this, right? I could because this is it. If you go to this library now, your brain instantly knows that I'm here to create content. Shoot, there's a switch. When you're doing this thing at home, you're on top of your bed and all that. Sometimes you're just like, let me just scroll through social media a bit and check out some stuff. But it's not like yeah, you hop on there and you're like, okay, I have 2 hours to create this content. At the end of this 2 hours, like you're like work mode and it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, like on my drive here, I'm always thinking like, okay, what am I gonna work on? I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and then you actually get it done, and it's like you need the structure to then be able to do like the recordings
Yeah.
and posting and editing. I think for me the hardest part is editing. Like I get lazy and I'm like, man, do I really want to edit this? But I think that it's part of the process, and I think that it is important. When I first started Grounded Spirits, I wouldn't edit it. It would just be raw. Whatever I said is what I said. But then I started getting embarrassed. Like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should go back and edit. So the early episodes are like raw, unfiltered, and like now, like they get a little more processed.
Yeah. So it's well, you know how you see someone that has the exact thing you want and you're just incredibly happy for them. And that's exactly how I feel right now for you. Like I'm just so excited. I feel like I'm the one experiencing it right now, even though I'm not the one. But like you have a full studio, 2 hours. Like imagine if you create 10 minutes of content, you create like 3 to 4, 5, in 2 hours. Of
Mhm.
course, you sketch and work on the ideas before you come to record. That's brilliant. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing you pay tax dollars,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, the
you
tax
have to
dollars.
use every of our tax.
But there are universities that will allow the public to come in. So wherever you are, the universities, a lot of them will have study rooms too, or at least a space like maybe in the front, even if it's not like your own room by yourself, but in the front where you can talk. So like I think that it's also important to like look at the resources that are available because like when I first moved out here, I was like, what am I going to do? I have no idea where to go or what to do because I would come up with my husband. I would go drop him off. And so while he's at work, I'm like, "Hey, look, what am I gonna do?" And it just started like little by little. And so now I go to museums. Like I mentioned, I go to parks. I've been coming to different libraries. And then now, like I have my spots in LA. So when I'm in this area, I'm like, oh, I can go over here. I can go over there. Like now I've been doing this for like a year and a half now where I've just been exploring Los Angeles and finding all the different resources that before I would have no idea that any of this existed. I
Yeah.
would have still just, like so, yeah, it's important to, like, get out there too.
Check for the resources. Well, libraries, and because for me the issue I usually have is sometimes the place they have a place you can record, but usually it's a very busy place that people are always moving, walking. It's not like a library, right? And then sometimes when they have a library, they don't have a secluded space. It's like where everybody reads, and so you can't go there and start talking. Like that wouldn't really be nice. And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's just about, like, looking at, like, trying to find, like, the what do they call it? The silver lining, like, what you can do with it, you know?
uh,
So, like, maybe you can't do, like, the podcasting, but maybe, like, a quick video, you could do it on the street, even if it is loud, if you have, like, a little mic or something, you know?
yeah, that's true. I like that perspective. Let's focus on what we can do with what we have. Whoa, like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Oh, okay.
Mhm,
You
and then
mentioned
what
that.
I found sorry.
No. I love to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I was saying, that even, like, with this library, it was, like, really cool the way that, like, the perfect space comes up when you need it most, and so, like, this one, like I said, is 2 hours, but recently, I found another library, like, in a different area. This is in Burbank now, so, like, 30 minutes from where I am, and so I had to travel a little bit, but there, it's for 3 hours, and one of the libraries has a whole podcast studio, like, they have
Oh,
everything, like, the soundproof room, like the mic, like super cool. They even show you like classes on how to work all the stuff. I'm like, whoa, like that's so cool. So I haven't done it yet. Like I just found out about this like last week. But yeah, like it's amazing, like the resources that like I wouldn't have known. And I just started exploring and started going to new places and then this one popped up. So next week I'll figure out if I how I like it.
yeah. Please let us know how it goes. Probably maybe when we're doing a catch up episode, maybe 2 3 months. I don't know if you still be where you are now, but yeah, it would be nice if we can use the studio and just
Yeah. So now I
talk
can show
about.
you.
Yeah, yeah. That's this like ideas are just flowing in my head right now. Okay, you mentioned you're on YouTube. When did you kind of like start doing YouTube? Oh,
Probably like August, September of last year. I just started getting out of my shell because before, like I said, I wouldn't even show my face, wouldn't say my name. But then I was like, well, why? Why instead of like they could still hear it still on podcasts, but I'm like, why not put it on more platforms because then it's a bigger reach. More people will see it, more people can connect with it. And so with YouTube, that's where I really saw it. And then on YouTube, it was cool too because I could do like my own little graphics. So I have like my own little like sliding in show and then like the different things. So I feel like you can
something,
express more.
can we do something?
Yeah.
You haven't even heard what I want us to do, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah. I'm down. I'm already down for knowing.
okay. Of course, we're not going to do anything illegal. Can you instead of telling us about the YouTube channel, can you show us the YouTube channel? And yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have to do the dashboard, just the YouTube channel, like with the videos, the intro, and everything we see, so that we can steal some of your marketing secrets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The option to share your screen is on my. You can see it, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to get it. So it's already there when I share
Okay.
my screen.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, 1 second.
I love to do
Mm.
catch up. Say yeah. When we recorded the episode, she was making $0. Now she's making $1 million from the podcast. Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'll come like the IRS and say, yeah, where's my cut? 20%.
It's not oh, there we go, okay, I'm like, "It's not letting me log in."
You
Okay.
okay.
Okay, let me
So you have a rental office.
okay, let me find you back. When I shared, can I choose which one? Oh, here it is, screen.
Can you see here?
Gosh, this is not gonna work. It's taking me to system settings.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to end the call in order to share. I said it's a new computer, so I haven't given it permission. Man, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I was like super excited to see the channel. So I guess right now we just get to hear because usually I like to, for the guests to pull up the channel that way. People see the channel and they can easily just go check it out and subscribe on YouTube when they're watching on YouTube. Yeah, but yeah, I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
listen to what you have to say. Sad, pains me. Chris, I already
I'm sorry.
shed tears. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you're talking about YouTube and then you do these intros and so right now, do you do you publish every episode you publish on audio platforms on YouTube the same time and the same day consistently?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they all go out.
so what's the is the YouTube making money? Is it monetized?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Still starting. Yeah. Well, because the YouTube is so like recent. I've only been doing it for like 3 or 4 months. So then I took like a hiatus break after the fires. Like I couldn't make
Yeah,
content
it was
that time.
understandable.
So I'm barely now starting to like at least now I have a location. Now I have like my first episode coming back. Like it's like bringing it everything together. So yeah, the YouTube's still relatively new.
Yeah, I noticed even though you didn't say it expressly that you bought a new computer. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's definitely like how you said, like we're moving in that direction of like leveling up, getting like everything together.
Yeah, you have all that you need. Not what you want, but you have a studio, you have a setup, you have a place, decorum, quiet where you can focus.
Yeah.
I don't know if you experience this, but there's this feeling that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm going to work, right? Even if it's your own personal stuff, there's a personal space where it's way different from your house. For those of us that do, I don't know if the podcast is the main thing, but if you're doing your online stuff, if you happen to do it at home, and before you know it, you might end up just relaxing, sitting on the couch instead of walking.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. But what I found like with podcasting is that I before I would get so nervous before podcasts. Like even if I was the one interviewing, I would get so nervous and I I'm like, why am I even doing this? If I'm getting so nervous, like why why am I showing up every week to like interview somebody if I'm like breaking out in like sweats? But then I tried stopping, but like I couldn't. Like these ideas would come, people would reach out. Like I feel like I have no choice but to podcast. And so
Yeah,
now it's like how you said, like on the walk, like if I wake up and I want to go on a walk, on the walk, all of these ideas will come to me of like, oh, I could do this or I could do that. That's like how the element thing came into for grounded spirits. Or like with Ela Radio, it was like maybe I'm just like asking the wrong questions. Like I need to be asking questions that like excite me and that I'm so excited to hear about them from them. Instead of just like the basic like, oh, like what's like a basic question? I can't think of one, but I feel like that's how I was starting. I was just doing like the basic, like what's safe, and like now I'm like asking like the deep questions. What was your childhood like? How do you use your intuition?
yeah,
So it's like really interesting, like how people are more like open and more vulnerable when coming onto a podcast because like when it's a one-on-one conversation, we kind of build like this own little bubble of our
yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
And it really helps, like, the people that have come on my show, it really helps them to reflect on their life because my show is really reflective. But I think even, like, on here, like, for me to be able to, like, reflect on my own story, like, why I'm in podcasting, why I've been doing this for so long. My husband jokes because before I was a teacher, but I would jump from school to school or, like, subject to subject or grade to grade. But podcasting with Grounded Spirit specifically has been, like, my longest job. I say like this because I'm not making full like to support full self with grounded spirits alone, but I do have books for that too. But it's something that I love so much that it's like I said, I couldn't not do it. And it's the longest thing that I've ever stuck to, and that I would consistently like on Grounded Spirits. I think I have like 140 something episodes,
oh,
so it's like something that I'm actually like still working towards. On Ela, I think I have like 25 episodes, so it's not
Yeah,
as much
that's
as,
new. Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's like that consistency, not because I'm forcing myself to do it, but because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't doing it. That's
Yeah.
how
I mean,
I put it.
it's the idea is to how do I make a podcast episode that I would want to listen to? And when you do that,
Exactly.
you just realize that making the episode itself, it's the reward. Like once you every time you make a new episode, you're happy and you just keep doing it. So of course getting numbers is nice, making a gazillion dollars is nice. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that by putting your heart and your love into it, I think that's like what attracts the money. Like people are gonna want to listen because you're so excited.
Yeah.
How you said, like you want to make podcasts that you would want to listen to. I think that that's like really important.
Yeah. Two things I want us to quickly address. The first one is how do you make your, I know you talked about your setup, which is pretty simple and pretty basic. And so this is me talking to everyone listening to the podcast right now. If you've been given some of those silly excuses, I don't have a podcast mic, my stuff is not this, my stuff is not that. I mean, how how simple can the setup be? You have a computer. Like I know some people say, I know some people who want to say that I don't have a computer. I have a mobile phone. She started with a mobile phone, so right now she has the means to upgrade to a computer, and I'm happy for her. So start with what you have,
Yeah,
and eventually, when you have something nice and better, you can upgrade, but you don't have to.
exactly. Like even on like an iPhone, like with the voice memo app, from there you can record, even you can edit on there now. So like even something as basic as a voice memo app, like it's free, and then to put it up, it's free too. Like I use podcasters for Spotify, or Spotify for podcasters, something like that. It's what Anchor turned into,
Yeah,
but it's so, like, there's like, we live in a time where everybody's story is so important because everybody lives a different life, and we need to learn about other people's stories. And so that's what I love about podcasting, is that it really brings people, like, look at us. Like, we're literally so far apart, and we're having this, like,
yeah,
great conversation
yeah,
about it. I love podcasting for that too.
yeah. Now, what are the odds or the chance, the numbers that would we could have connected? I mean, I can't think of it. How would I even like? Say, what would even make me look like I don't really nah. But because of the podcast, now we're talking about the podcast story, and now we're chatting, and hopefully, we do this conversation long enough that like, oh yeah, yeah, I have a podcast friend in Nigeria. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the other idea, and that's for me. It's what I love, especially if you're doing an interview show, is you get to connect with a lot of persons, and it's like a cheat code for networking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get to meet all these different people, and it's been so interesting. I don't know how I wanna hear about yours too, but of how, like, having guests on my show, it's so interesting how everybody has such an interesting story, or like an interesting perspective on things. And it just like goes to show like how different people are, but also like how similar they
Yeah.
are from all over the world. You find these similarities that you would have never expected. And that's also what I really love about it.
Yeah, yeah. For me, doing this, the kind of show I do, which is my podcast stories, I get a lot of ideas. Right now, we've chatted for like about 30 minutes, and I've had so many ideas of things I could possibly do for my podcast. And then I'd also share my own ideas too, if I have something to share. But it's when you do the first two, three, four, five guests, you see different things, and then I just realized that, dude, you're complicating these things, right? It's not as difficult as it is. You just tell us that you don't want to do it, and then I'm like, yeah, that's true. This guest I know of, she's been podcasting for 17 years. She has not, she doesn't use anything technical. She just use her computer and all that. And she does her thing. And she's been doing it for a while now. And I'm like, you have this. And what's the hold up? I'm like, nothing really. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like really just like in your own mind, like your own mind saying like I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of that. But in reality, like there's somebody out there who's already doing it, even though they had the same thing that's holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you said it earlier on. You said you were spot on when you said, I think we should focus on the things we can do with what we have. Not let's not talk about the things we cannot do for now, right? They say, oh, I have my phone is, let's say, iPhone. What's the lowest iPhone, and in terms of worst iPhone you could have? iPhone 6 is pretty good, right? I don't use iPhone, but let's say iPhone 6, like way back. That's the phone you use. And you could say, I cannot record a quality video with the iPhone 6. I cannot do this. But like, okay, but you can record an audio with iPhone 6. I cannot edit. Well, don't do a podcast like when you have to edit. Just do everything in one go and upload it like that. Yeah, because then when you say, okay, what can I do? It changes the frame of reference, and what you start saying is different. And so you're like, okay, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. Okay, I cannot do guest interviews yet because every time I try to use my phone, it crashes on me and it hangs and all the stuff, and it's terrible. So okay, I can do just audio recordings, and I'll start with that. And when I eventually upgrade to a better phone, I can then do guest interviews. I can then do stuff like that. Instead of saying, oh, I can't do guest interviews, I'm not going to do a podcast.
Yeah, or like even like be as basic as possible and like writing it like on a piece of paper. And like there's this great book. It's called the author is Carlos Castañeda, and he went to Mexico and started interviewing this guy, and he ended up like getting 12 books out of it, and now like he's like a best-selling author just because he started doing these interviews with just one guy. Like
What's the
it
name of
just
the
takes
book?
it's called The Teachings of Don Juan. So Don Juan is the one guy that he interviewed.
Oh, okay.
So The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castañeda. And so that's the first book, and there's 12 of them. I'm on book like 5 or 6. It's like it gets intense, and so like this is like in the 60s too. But it's
Ooh,
just him writing everything down, and yeah, like that's if that's what we need to start, that's where we can start.
yeah. I mean, the technology is getting way better, but the problem, that's why when most people, they see podcasting, oh, it's something I record with. For me, I see it as a self-improvement journey because you learn a lot about yourself. There's so many things. Some of you have to deal with procrastination. You have to deal with, oh, my voice is not good enough. You have to be comfortable with your voice. You have to be comfortable with talking in public. Oh, people are going to say, I sound terrible. Oh, I'm not going to put my name out there. I'm not going to put my video. I'm shy. So many things you have to work. These things, they have nothing to do with podcasting. They have to do with you, being okay with yourself, getting to speak better, and all these things that at the end of 5, 6, 7 years, eventually you. Right now, I feel like I'm at the point where I can strike a conversation with someone I've never met or I don't know in my life. Like I can talk to them. Like I can just start, and in the next 20 minutes we're like, oh, we're chatting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's this? What's that? Probably because a podcast basically forces me to have a chat with someone, because I told myself that, okay, I'm going to have the clear idea of where I want the episode to go, but I'm not going to come up with questions. And I'm just trying to be in the moment, and yeah, we're going to chat. And so what that does is that that for the next 1 hour, you have to. So it's not necessary of, okay, I'm not interested in this conversation. I'm just going to leave and say, oh, man, bye bye. I have to chat with you hopefully for the next 1 hour. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm in the moment. Okay, so what's interesting? Something interesting I could talk about with her. Okay, she seems like she does this thing. This stuff is interesting to her. Okay, I could ask her about this. Now I'm in the moment, and so it kind of like by the time you do it the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, it's a skill that having a great podcast is nice. But now I'm in the public, I'm in the gathering. I'm like, hi, what do you do? Oh, I'm a consultant. What do you consult about? That's exciting. And yeah, we're having a conversation, because I think I had this conversation with a guest recently, and I was like, I think when people ask me for what I do, as they ask me, what do you do? Um, to make them kind of like, think a bit, I'll tell them that I talk to strangers for a living and I post it online.
I'm
Yeah, because like I don't know you, you don't know me, and yeah, we are chatting, and after chatting, I'm going to record it. I've recorded everything, and I might edit it, and then I'll post it on YouTube and online for other strangers to view. Okay, that's it. I talk to strangers online and then post it for other strangers to watch or listen to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
But you're right, like, definitely, like, having, like, that fear at the beginning, like I said, I wouldn't put my name on it, I wouldn't put my face, but little by little, you start opening up and you start, like, getting more comfortable with yourself, but you're right, like, hearing yourself back or, like, watching you, and sometimes it's so cringe, and you're like, "How am I gonna post this?" But I think that that's, like, what I've also been, like, working on, like how you're saying, like, self-improvement, because I have to like watch myself, understand like myself, and then edit everything out. And then it helps me feel seen. And then there's like this thing that like if you haven't what did she say? There was like this quote that said, if you haven't gone viral yet, it's because you're still afraid of being seen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that hit me because like I have all these great ideas. I want to say all this stuff. I want to help so many people, but then I can't even see my own self. So how do I expect all the other people to see me? You know?
Yeah, yeah, and it's a good thing because now there's not so much of an audience for you to like say, oh, people are going to laugh. Like nobody, probably nobody even views or watch our video, which is a good thing because now you get to practice, you get to learn, and eventually when they start watching, you figure out most of the stuff out, and you kind of know what you're doing compared to now that you just like, yeah. Okay, you edit your podcast yourself. You do everything from start to finish yourself.
Yeah.
And what do you use for editing? What do you use for recording, editing? You mentioned you use Spotify for podcasters for publishing. That happens to be what I use for now.
Yeah. So I use Wave Room for like the recording. So Wave Room is free. You know Wave Room? Nobody
Wait,
knows it.
it's funny because I made a video reviewing the software on YouTube, and I posted the video on YouTube. It was like, I think, one of 3 videos on YouTube about the software, and I didn't believe that people actually use that software. It's free, completely free, of course, but wow,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, because I used to use Riverside, but for me, it like wouldn't mesh it together, like your audio and my audio, it wouldn't put it together when I would use it. So then, yeah, so it got really
That's
weird on
strange.
Riverside.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I've been using it. It works
Um,
fine.
Yeah, for me, it never worked. But I love Riverside because you can edit by the words. So that was really cool. But now I use Wave Room and I've been liking it so far because it has AI features. So it has the transcription, it has a summary. The summary comes out in Spanish. I don't know why, but I just go to ChatGPT and I already have like my little script. So I'm like, here's the summary. Write me a description of the podcast and then come up with the name. Here's a template for the name. And so now all I do is copy paste, put it up with the summary, puts it out, edit it a little bit because like ChatGPT is not always perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll edit a little bit, take out the parts that I wanted to highlight of the episode. And then I go to iMovie on my computer and then I edit it on there. And it's pretty easy. It's already included on the computer, so I don't have to pay for it. And yeah, then that's it. Then I put it onto YouTube and now Spotify has the video option. So before I would have to make 2 separate ones, an audio file and a video file. But now that Spotify has included videos, I just
Yeah.
post the same thing on each one and then done.
Yeah. Wow. Do you spend any money on the podcast?
No. Well, except for like the mics. The mics, they were like, it was $10 on Amazon for the lavalier mics. And it's just like a little clip right here. It's been working really well.
Yeah. The mic is a one-time cost. Like you spend $10 and that's it. Wow. $0 to run the podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've
It's
been
all
doing
right.
it for a while.
Yeah, yeah. And everything is working out. Do you do clips for the YouTube channel, your socials, and vertical reel clips?
Because I've been like trying to like force myself to do more clips. But then I'm like, I don't know, like what part to cut out for it to like be interesting on socials. Like, I don't know. I just get like so in my head about it. So I haven't been doing clips, but that's something that I definitely want to start.
Yeah, and then you could use the automatic clip tools. Like there's so many out there, or you could decide to say, I want to do it manually, and which also means it will be free. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how you do it
The
manually.
Riverside way of that.
Yeah,
Riverside, I love the clip that they would pick out. They did such a good job.
because we want to like get as much we can get from our content. Like we're already creating great content. We might as well like change it into different formats so that we can distribute it to as many persons as we can. Because I always say that I have a message, right? And podcasting is the medium I choose to share that message. So the message is always first before the medium. I can always change the medium like anytime I like. But the message is like
Mhm.
first, and yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I've learned about like marketing, so Grounded Spirits got pretty big. By pretty big was like
How
in my
big?
standard.
How
No, it
big? How
wasn't. It's
big?
not. Now that I'm seeing it, it's not that big.
Share some of the juice. I don't trust you because the way you are saying it, you like you don't want to share it with us. Share some of the juice with us.
Well, the highest that Garden Spirits ever got for one episode was 6K downloads,
What?
and so like that was
Yeah, yeah. What are you saying?
that
Wow.
was like huge, and I was
And
freaking out that day.
you're like you just wanted to like play it and say it's 6,000. Wow.
Yeah, other people, like comparing, people are like say more, but anyway.
Have you ever spoken to 6,000 persons at the same time in real life?
That's a good point. No, I haven't.
Have you wait? 6,000 is too much. Have you ever spoken to 1,500 persons at the same time?
No, I think the most I ever talked was at my high school graduation. I did a speech for my high school graduation.
How many were they?
Oh, probably like the 500 around.
Okay.
500.
Okay.
That's
And
the most
that's
I did.
that speech you gave. How long was it?
Like 5 minutes. Is tiny.
And you think
Probably.
that they were listening to you for that 5 minutes?
Probably not.
Out of that 500, like
They're
how
probably
many how many persons actually listen to you in that 500? Yeah, I'm trying to
probably not.
imagine my own high school, what it looks like. But out of that 500, maybe if you have 100, 150, your speech is very good. Listening to you, right? But the 6,000, they're actually listening to your stuff. They're like, I want to listen to her. I want to hear this shenanigans she has to say. I'm just kidding, not shenanigans, but what?
Come to my page, click on my stuff. You're right. Like when you think about it that way, like that is a big number of people that went to go check out my stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for being here.
So right now, like, what's the number like?
Oh, like I said, I haven't posted on Grounded Spirit since the fire. So the fire was in January. And so like I said, now I'm trying to build it up again on Grounded Spirits. Oh, but this was my whole point. So on Grounded Spirits, it like really like took off a little bit for that spot. See here, like I'm saying like the whole like being seen thing, but like no, I have to be proud of it. So when it did take off, it was because I had a blog associated with it online. So it was groundedspirits.com. I would post the interview, or I would post whatever I was talking about and all like the different links and stuff. And just by having that blog, like directed people to the show. Whereas now when I started with Ela Radio, I didn't do a blog with it. I was just like, here it is, like come to it, like how everyone always just came to Grounded Spirits. I never did any marketing, like pay for ads or anything like that. But with Ela Radio, the numbers have been pretty small, tiny. So now I'm starting the blog. So hopefully once I start the blog, then more people will start trickling in. But I didn't know how big, like having a presence. Like if you look up Ela Radio on just Google, probably nothing will show up. I'm actually gonna check it right now. But for Grounded Spirits, like it actually says like this is what it is. It's been here.
The website, everything.
Website plays a big role in it. Oh no, it's here.
It shows up.
It does, yeah, it does show up. So okay.
Yeah.
But on Grounded Spirits, like it has like the whole like little section with like the images and like my slogan, everything. So having a blog like really helps. So I just wanted to share that tip.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was thinking of it. I thought I was the only weird guy like thinking of, oh, if you have a blog, it's gonna help you rank and stuff like that. And I'm glad I've seen someone who actually got results from it. And yeah. So I'm going to launch my own website too. So when should we be expecting an episode from you on Grounded Spirit?
Within this month. I have everything together. Now it's just a matter of recording it. So I'm hoping to record this Friday, and then hopefully by next week it'll be out.
Please, if an episode comes live, I know this episode will not be published until June. But if the episode goes live, let me know. I'd love to give it a listen and see, hear you for the next, I don't know how long, and you just have your voice in my head saying whatever you're saying, because I don't know what the episode sounds like or looks or is about. But I would just hear, say, yeah, that's true. She's doing well. Yeah. And then you say, you hear this voice? That's my friend. I know her. Yeah. Even though I just met you one time.
Yeah. Or have you ever tried on Alexa or like on like you say you don't have iPhone, but on iPhone you say Siri, and if you say like play podcast and then you say your podcast name and she actually plays, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like my voice. So like that, those like little moments like are exciting.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I need to optimize my podcast to a level such that I can tell people that have iPhones to try it for me, and if it works out for them, and I'll know that my podcast is pretty much where it needs to be seen, and it's just a matter of promoting it to people that are not yet aware of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because the
Uh,
right people will come.
I want us to talk about one thing, that's the money aspect quickly. Ah, that's true. I didn't even know that we've exceeded the time. Conversation was just
Yeah.
going and going and going. I had to look at.
But I can answer one last question. Yeah.
I'm really like usually I like to like round up the episodes. I feel like we just started the conversation. Honestly, I feel like we just started the talk, and it's as if we didn't even we've not even said anything so far. Okay, I like to talk about the money aspects. Is I know you're not spending so much on the podcast other than your time, which of course is like very valuable. You know, if you are being paid to do the podcast, I cannot I know you'll be paid a lot, right? To like manage, edit, and do everything. Does the podcast
So what I do on the podcast is talk about my books, and so I make money off my books on Amazon.
What's the title of your book for those that are like, oh, I love Laura. I'd love to check out her book.
So the one that I'm talking about on Grounded Spirits when I'm recording on Friday, it's called Believe, A Guide into Yourself. And so it's like 4 different rounds, I call them, of like going deeper into yourself. So the first round is like your values, and like then it goes like deeper into like your family. Then it gets like really dark into like your fears, and then it brings you back up like, okay, like now what do you want to do with your life? How, like, what are the steps to like get there, and like really believing yourself, because to do your own podcast, you have to believe in yourself. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't put my name on it because I was like ashamed or like embarrassed, like, oh, like what if like my friends see it, or like what if like my neighbor sees it? But now I'm like, I don't care. Like, come listen to what I have to say, and if you don't vibe with it, you don't vibe with it.
Yeah,
But I think that you really need to have like that grounded like belief in yourself, and so that's like the book that I talk about.
yeah, okay. So other than I mean, you're not spending so much on the podcast other than your time, of course. So it's not like you have like I think the basic rule of business is that to maximize profit, you can either increase revenue or reduce expenses. So your expenses is like zero right now. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Wow. Do you have any plans to? It would be nice if you get monetized on YouTube, though, and you can get the the extra dollars from ads, and then yeah,
Yeah, that's the goal. That's where we're heading. But I think it's also really important to have a clear vision, because like Grounded Spirits has gone through its eras. Like it started here, and then I moved up, and then it's always been like that. How do we stay grounded while being spirited? But it's like way more refined now. Like now it's a wellness pod for gardeners and dreamers. So if you garden or if you dream, come see the show and like learn about wellness and how to be your best self. So like now, like actually focusing down on what it actually is versus just this like it could be anything has,
yeah,
and so I think that now I'm like coming in better than ever to really like help people in this specific way versus being more vague and just more open in that way, because the right people come when it's focused.
Out of curiosity, what do you do? What's your full-time job?
This. So just selling my books, I guess, would be my full-time job if I'm an author. But I am in school to get my PhD in education, so I'm doing that. And then I'm working on other projects that hopefully come out at the end of the month or hopefully early June, that are going to be like more course offerings. I'm also an astrologer, so
Oh,
I do reading, and yeah, so just like a bunch of
what you mentioned
things.
PhD. What did you? Okay, what did you like? What was your first degree in? This is out of curiosity. This has nothing to do with the podcast. What was your first degree?
So I have a bachelor's degree in psychology with a math minor, and then I went to get my master's in curriculum and instruction, and then now my PhD in education. But I have
Okay.
to go now.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Where can listeners learn more about your podcast and what you do?
Yeah, so my podcast, Grounded Spirits, new episodes will be coming out soon. And Ela Radio, it comes out every Wednesday. So that one's already in the works for Wednesday. So if you want to learn about how to learn better, how to learn about different parts of yourself, parts of education, parts of nature, then check out Ela Radio.
Yeah, once again, Laura, thank you so much for taking that time to be on the podcast, and thank you so much for sharing your story. That's it for today's episode of my podcast story. I am Wisdom Okonkwo, and I hope this conversation sparked new ideas and gave you a deeper look into the heart of podcasting. If you've loved this episode, consider supporting the show by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/wisdomhq. Every bit helps keep the stories going. And hey, don't forget to follow, rate, and share this podcast with another podcaster or creator who would find it helpful. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.